Who are the dogs? Everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. It's an analogy.
No, it's not an analogy. It's an insult.
Well, I don't really see it that
Really?
way.
So anyone... So you're saying, listen to this. You're telling me that if somebody calls your children dogs, you won't get offended?
Yeah, but the thing is...
No, answer the question.
No, I wouldn't, because...
You wouldn't?
No, because...
So you would let your children be called dogs by someone and be insulted like that?
Because,
seriously?
No, because...
You know, trust me, if this was anyone other than Jesus Christ, you would say, this is a very wrong thing to do. To call someone a dog is insulting. And that too, whom is he insulting? A woman who has faith in him, who's basically on her knees. Wait, bear me out. Who has faith in him, she's actually on her knees begging him, begging him, after insulting her. After insulting her.
What would you rather? Would you rather be insulted and not have your request?
No, I would rather he help her without insulting her.
Are you a father?
Sorry? I'm a father, yes.
You've got children?
I've got children,
okay.
Yeah. And I would never, wait, unlike you, I would never stand, by idly if somebody calls my children dogs. Like the way you said you don't care.
But what I'm saying to you, would you rather that your child was healed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
And what did Jesus do?
And this is exactly the point I'm going to tell you.
What did Jesus do?
Yes, I will tell you. Can I answer? Can I respond?
He healed her.
You asked me a question, let me respond. Listen. Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. Listen to this. If my child was sick or your child was sick, yes, and you know that doctor was the only one who can heal you, yes, so even if that doctor was going to insult you, you would still ignore that insult, because right now, look, I will still finish. I still haven't finished. No, it's not an analogy. It's an insult. It's a very derogatory term to insult someone by calling them a dog. Okay, so listen to this. If you were actually at an NHS A&E and your child was sick, you trust me, you would actually stand by any insult, because right there and then your child's life is at priority. So if somebody calls you a dog or a pig or whatever it is, yes, that is the last thing that is on your mind right now. Wait, hear me out. What was her priority? To get her child healed. Even if Jesus called her an insulting. But you say Jesus was supposed to be God, right?
He is God.
Yes, if he is God, should he not already know that woman has faith in him as soon as she came to him? Why the need to test?
Because
and that too with an insulting.
Because he's drawing the faith out of her, isn't he?
Yeah, but hold on. What do you mean drawing faith?
It's the same.
By calling someone a dog?
But
how is that drawing faith?
But the thing is, the most important thing is that
he healed her.
That he healed her.
You see what you're doing is,
even though
in your case, the ends justify the means.
Look,
am I right?
What I'm saying
because that's exactly what you're telling me. Even if you look, Jesus is supposed to be your role model. Yes, he's supposed to use this morality, which is going to be basically copied by other people, because he's your role model. Would you, if you were a teacher and you wanted to if you wanted to teach something to your students, would you tell them first that you are a dog or you are a pig and then teach them a lesson? Or would you actually from the very beginning be humble, yes, be helpful, because he could have easily healed her if he wanted to. But no, what did he say? He ignored her first. Secondly, he told her very specifically that I've not come for the Gentiles, I've only come for the lost sheep of Israel. Yes? So he did this, and on the third occasion, when she humbles herself, even after being insulted as a dog, yes, she was on her knees begging him, said, even the dogs eat the crumbs which fall from the master's table. So she's reduced herself even to a dog in order for her child to be healed, because that is her objective. For her, the most important thing was how her child is going to be healed, and she was willing to do anything for her. And you as a parent would do as well, and I as a parent would do as well.
But our original conversation, the actual subject matter of what we were talking about,
whether Jesus came for everyone,
is whether or not Jesus came for everyone.
It does.
Okay. So we can talk about the ins and outs of this particular exchange, but my point is that the fact remains that the end result, the end analysis was that he didn't reject that Gentile woman. And in Isaiah chapter 42 verse 6 it says that he comes as a light for the nations. In Micah it says that he comes for many peoples. He will settle disputes between many peoples and many nations. that people will come from the fire. So the general thing is, in terms of what we're talking about, the actual subject matter is this.
What?
Is Jesus, did he only come for the Jews, or did he come from everyone? The Bible, I think, right from the Old Testament right up to the New Testament, tells us very consistently that Jesus came first and foremost for the Jews, but for everyone.
No, when you say Jesus came first and foremost for the Jews, hear me out here.
Yeah.
When Jesus says, I've come only, the key word there is only. Look, either he was saying...
Wisdom is proved...
Look, I let you talk without interrupting you.
Yeah, you talked quite a long time.
No, but I did let you talk now without interrupting you. You made a point, I just want to make the point, and then you come back on that.
Okay.
When you said that Jesus spoke the truth when he said, I've come only for the Lordship of Israel. He said the truth. Now, he did not say, I've come initially for the Jews and later on for the Gentiles. Maybe this woman impressed him so much that he made an exception for her, because she was literally...
And he did for the Samaritan woman as well.
Okay, so maybe 2 exceptions. That still doesn't make it... That is not the general rule. Exceptions are not the rule. The rule is what? Jesus already stated that. What was the rule?
Well,
I've not come except for the Lordship of Israel.
The general rule is found in Isaiah. The general rule is found in Micah.
Isaiah. Wait, Isaiah...
That's the general
Hold on,
rule.
no. Isaiah, the book of Isaiah...
God so loved the world...
Yeah.
That's everybody, that's Jew and Gentile, that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever would believe in him would not perish, but have everlasting life. Does it say in that passage for Jews only?
Okay, when he said...
It doesn't say that.
Hear me out. Because what you have done now is, you have moved on to Jesus's election by God.
I'm keeping it to the subject.
I'm not saying that you have changed the subject totally. What I'm saying is that when Jesus was sent as a sacrifice, you believe he sacrificed, yes, for the world.
Yes,
that's what you believe.
Yeah.
Now,
for you and for me.
Now listen to this. Does that actually, is that in sync with the teaching of the Bible?
Well, that Jesus came to...
That Jesus, who is your God, yes, came to die for everyone.
Yeah.
Do you believe Jesus can heal people?
Yeah.
Do you think Jesus can forgive sins of people?
Only God can forgive sins, and Jesus is God in the flesh.
Yes. So if Jesus could forgive sins, and he's God in flesh, why do we need the human sacrifice then?
Because it's through the forgiveness, it's through the shedding of blood that there's the forgiveness.
So that is a condition,
the Bible
to spill the blood of a human.
Well, you know, or maybe you don't.
No, but you still haven't answered my question. If Jesus is capable of
shedding of blood, there's no forgiveness of sins. Now, no other person's blood could have been acceptable as a sacrifice to God, except someone who was perfect. So Jesus came, he was God incarnate, he lived amongst us, he was tempted in every way, he suffered and died, he rose again on the 3rd day and ascended into heaven. He's God in the flesh.
Okay, so basically you're telling me, by the way, my name is Hashim. Chris, nice meeting you. I'm a Muslim, you must have realized that by now. Okay, so you see there's a difference between Islam and Christianity. In Islam, we believe in the doctrine of forgiveness, yes, and also of justice by God, not just forgiveness. In the case of Christianity, correct me if I'm wrong, you believe in the original sin, and you believe in this original sin only to be wiped out by the blood of either an animal prior to Jesus,
a perfect human being,
or an animal prior to Jesus Christ. No. You don't believe in the animal sacrifices during the Mosaic era?
The animal sacrifices were just a foreshadow of the real thing.
Yeah, but what was the purpose?
So as you know, the purpose was to point towards the Messiah.
No, what was the purpose?
So
what was the purpose?
When the chief priest placed his hands on the scapegoat once a year and sent the scapegoat out of the camp, and the scapegoat was killed, that was a foreshadow of what was to eventually happen.
No, but that's not what he says in the Old Testament,
when the Messiah was to come.
When you read Leviticus, there's no mention of Messiah in that case.
Messiah
in the sacrificial lamb.
Is the Lamb of God, the sacrificial
No, but that's you using an
Passover lamb.
Okay, Chris, that is you using an anachronistic viewpoint, because what you're doing here is now, when you read Leviticus and you read these sacrifices, do you see the mention of Messiah anywhere there? Because what you have just done is you have somehow juxtaposed your Christianity onto Judaism. You see what I mean? So you are anachronistically trying to justify the coming of the Messiah by these sacrifices. What I'm saying is, when you read these sacrifices in Leviticus, yes, you see that these are for unintentional sins.
What happened when Abraham went to sacrifice his son?
God replaced
Isaac.
God substituted with a ram.
So what you see in
that means his son did not die.
What you see,
and it was substituted.
Yeah. So what? Exactly.
Yeah, which is a foreshadowing of Jesus.
Of Jesus.
From the Islamic perspective, not your perspective.
He's the
because
one,
in your perspective, the son dies.
He's the son. No.
Yes, he dies.
Yes, he dies and he rises again.
No, but here's the point. In the case of Abraham, listen. In the case of Abraham's son, does the son die?
No,
exactly.
And Jesus didn't either.
So who died on the cross?
Ultimately, he didn't. He died and rose again.
No,
so
he did die.
No, yes.
So don't say no.
Had no mastery over it.
No, you're fast forwarding. Wait,
Chris, is Jesus dead now?
Chris, with all due respect, you are fast forwarding. You're fast forwarding to the resurrection,
where he intercedes for the saints. So do I believe it?
No, you have missed the point. You have missed the point. I'll tell you why.
He's not
dead.
Look,
in the case of Abraham,
Jesus is
listen.
dead.
In the
He's
case,
alive.
hold on. In the case of Abraham, yes, the son was a willing sacrifice.
And so was Jesus.
Hear me out. In the case of
when you see the thorns around the son's head, it's a foreshadowing of the crown of thorns that was placed on Jesus.
No.
Exactly
if you hear me out, others you'll keep missing the point.
Yeah, I think you're missing the point.
Yes. When Abraham went to sacrifice his son was a willing sacrifice.
So was Jesus.
Let me tell you how it's not Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's compare the two. So in the case of Abraham's son, it was a willing sacrifice, which you agree. Let me tell you why Jesus was not a willing sacrifice.
Right.
What happens in the Garden of Gethsemane? Go on, tell me.
But the difference.
Don't tell me, but tell me what happens.
Yeah, I know what happened.
What happens? Please tell me.
Did Jesus still go to the
No,
cross?
tell me what happens in the Garden of Gethsemane. Because you said he was a willing sacrifice.
Yeah.
What does Jesus do in the Garden of Gethsemane?
Said, if you can take this cup from me, then do it.
He didn't just say.
Yes.
He begged God for it.
Yes, but listen.
What was he sweating blood?
Listen, this is what I will say to you.
What?
Wisdom is proved right by our actions, not by words.
So you're telling Jesus' words were not wise?
Wisdom's proved right by actions.
Yes, it does.
So his actions superseded his words. Yes, he said.
So you're telling me that Jesus.
That.
Listen.
He sweated drops of
When
blood.
Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane,
But the fact still remains.
What was he praying to God?
He still went to the
What
cross.
was he praying to God?
He said, if you can take this from me, then take it from me.
Take what from me?
But
take
not
what?
my will be done, but yours.
Of course,
What was his will?
What was?
Not his will was to no.
You said take
God's
this from
will
me.
to cause him to suffer. It was
Hashim
God's
is
will to
Chris,
crush him.
I'm asking you, what did Jesus pray when he said take this from me? Take what from him?
This sacrifice.
Thank you.
Yes.
So he wasn't a willing sacrifice. He was looking for an alternate way.
But then he said, but yet not my will, but your will be done.
Exactly.
Your will.
Exactly. Which shows that his will, which shows what? That initially he's begging God to take the cup.
Wasn't begging.
Look, let me finish. I know you want to respond to me, but the only way we can progress is if you listen to me and I listen to
I'm
you.
listening to you a lot.
Yeah, but you need to let me finish and then respond, because we'll just talk over each other unnecessarily. Okay? I'm saying that when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, yes, first thing he did was put his forehead on the ground and he said what? What did he say to God? Take this cup away from me. So he wasn't just standing. Let me finish and then maybe you can. When he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he wasn't just, God, take this cup away from me. No. He was actually full of agony. Yes? In fact, he was afraid.
Yeah, and he was
I said, let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish and then you can continue, okay? And then he falls on his forehead, his face on the ground. Yes? You know, like the way Muslims pray in the... Yes? Well, I'm saying like the Muslim, like the way, it wasn't Jesus only, by the way. Abraham prayed like that, Moses prayed like that, Jesus prayed like that. They all fell on their face and they prayed to God. So what did Jesus pray to his God? What did he pray? He said, take this cup away from me. Yes? What cup? What is the cup? The cup signifies the crucifixion, like you said, the cross. Because the pain on the cross was evident to him. It was something which was very painful that he had to go through, because he might have seen the crucifixion of the Romans, which was a torture, a terrible torment and torture. So Jesus is saying, take this cup away from me. If there is another way, yes, and then he says, let it be your will be done, not my will. Now imagine this, if you are praying to someone, yes, sorry, if you're praying to God, so even if you didn't say these last words, let it be your will be done, not mine. Listen, let me, I know he did. I did say he did. I did not deny that.
Yeah.
Even if he did not say those words, yes, and if you prayed and you did not say those words, the fact still remains is always going to be God's will. So whether you like it or not, whether you say those words or not, it is always going to be the will of the Almighty, which is to whom Jesus is praying to. Because Jesus is totally submitting himself to that Almighty and is saying, let it be your will be done, not mine. And what is that will? That will of his was to take the cup away from him. Yes? His will was to take the cup away. Now imagine this, if that was Jesus' main objective. Like you said, he's come to save the whole world. Yes? If that was his main objective, is he not putting in jeopardy everybody's forgiveness, everyone's, basically everyone's, what do you say, destiny and salvation to go to paradise? Because that was his main objective. But at the last moment, he wants to bail out. And he's saying, if there is another way, let it be your will be done, not mine. Okay, no, it is very rude. Let Chris answer this, because he's been very patiently listening to me. It is only fair we let him. You like to butt in all the time, I don't know why. But I think it's only fair you let him finish now. You can respond to that.
Okay, so what do you want me to say?
I wanted to show you, this is not a willing sacrifice.
No, what Jesus said and what
he's going to change the topic.
What he didn't say. No, we know it very well that the word has taken a flesh now. No, this flesh, even though this flesh is God himself, the word has taken a flesh. Yeah. Now this flesh is going to work or talk or walk or do everything like a human does. Yeah. Even though Jesus don't need to be circumcised, but he did. He did because he is representing humanity, perfect humanity. Okay? No, Jesus.
You want to respond to that?
Don't need to. Jesus, listen carefully. Listen
because that is God.
Jesus don't need to be baptized.
The point,
but he did. He to show people that yes,
that he was a human.
Every human.
That's what the Muslims say, that he was only a human. Thank you. So you're agreeing with us.
Every human need baptism.
Okay.
Yeah?
By the way, the point I made.
He did that to fulfill all righteousness.
Yeah, all righteousness.
He got baptized to fulfill all righteousness.
That's
and in Hebrews it says he made himself a little lower than the angels.
So Chris, the reason I didn't want anybody else to interfere is because the point I was making to you is that Jesus was not a willing sacrifice. And I proved that from your Bible.
But the thing is,
if you insist that he was still willing, then you're going against what Jesus said.
He was representing him as a human.
But the thing is,
Jesus was human. We don't deny that. That's what Muslims have been telling you for years. That he was only a human, not God.
But the facts of the matter,
a God cannot be circumcised.
he doesn't listen.
No, I was listening to you all this time, and I gave you a chance to speak, but he came and interfered.
I feel pain.
I guess the point he is.
The point I was trying to tell you is that Jesus was not a willing sacrifice. That is the point. Unlike Abraham. So that is one point. The second point is this. You want to respond because you said give him the chance. I did give you a chance, but you gave him the chance instead.
If he would have not,
which has got nothing to do with the topic.
If he would have not said that,
do you want to respond?
Yeah.
In the case of Jesus, he wasn't a willing sacrifice. He was begging God to take it away from him.
So here's my answer.
Go on.
Okay. In the wilderness, when Jesus was tempted for 40 days and for 40 nights.
Yeah.
Okay. Satan came to him and said to him, "If you're hungry, turn these stones into bread." Okay.
And
Jesus was hungry because he took on human flesh. He experienced everything. He experienced everything that we experience. Because he was God in the flesh, he took on our humanity, so he could understand what hunger felt like. Satan said to him, "If you're God, throw yourself from this temple, because surely the angels will lift you up." Okay. And Jesus said, and Jesus didn't entertain that.
Why?
Because what Satan was trying to do, he was trying to get him to operate as God.
Now what is Jesus? What is the Satan?
Jesus
it is written. It is written in the law. Did he not say that? So Satan knew the Old Testament.
But Jesus never did that.
Why?
Because if Jesus done that, he'd have taken on the role of Antichrist. And
he would have taken what?
He'd have taken on the role of Antichrist because he would have.
Why?
Because he wouldn't have been. He would have been operating as the Son of Man anymore.
No, but that's what the Old Testament says.
Satan deceived Adam.
That's what the Old Testament says. That even if he falls, even if the Messiah falls from a high place, I don't remember exactly what he says. So the Satan was actually agreeing with the Old Testament, which Jesus did not fulfill.
So what I'm saying is, in that instance, is that in that instance, Jesus.
Sorry, they want us to come here because I think
Satan said, if you're hungry, turn these stones into bread. He didn't do it. You know, if you're the Son of God, throw yourself from this temple. He didn't do it.
But anyway, I think we are.
Remember what the other.
We are sidetracking because our case that we were trying to prove is the original sin.
That's right.
Because I was trying to tell you that the original sin is something which is unjust.
But Satan knew that Jesus had subordinated himself to the Father. He was trying to get him to act outside of what he was sent to do. He was trying to get him to act as God. And Jesus would never do that because Jesus said, I only do what I see the Father doing.
Okay. I think you're missing a very important point.
So we know that at the Garden of Gethsemane, of course, Jesus, as a man, would have felt that that's going to be something he doesn't want to do.
Are you telling me he was only a man then?
No, I'm not saying that.
So why was he praying if he was God?
I'm saying that.
And to whom?
What was in the beginning?
To whom was he praying?
What was
He was
in the
praying
beginning?
to his Father in heaven.
His Father? Why?
Why? Because Jesus said, I and the Father are one.
Okay, if they are one, then why is he praying to the Father?
Because the word for one in Hebrew, there's two words.
What is?
Is yakid, which means a singular one, or ikad.
Yakid?
Yakid
means what?
One.
No, it's
one.
not. No.
Ikad.
Echad means one. Yakid means what?
It's a singular one.
No, I think you should check it up.
Ikad
because many people bring this up without realizing Hebrew.
Means a plural oneness.
But anyway, if you said
and the Father are one.
Okay, so if they are one,
They believe in only one God. They never believe in a
wait. One in what?
It's the plurality of oneness.
Bro, one in what? No, they are one in what?
You're made in the image of God.
They are one in what? You said they are one.
So
Guys, stop it. There's too many discussions here. One discussion. So you're saying Jesus, wait. When he was praying, no. You made a point, I'm responding to that. Because you see, look, when I made a point...
I'm saying to you that you're made in the image and likeness of God.
You're going from so many red herrings here. There are too many red herrings. Let's discuss one thing at a time.
You said to me, how can Jesus pray to God?
Yes.
Okay.
If he's God, why is he praying to God? Not how.
I'm saying to you because there's a triunity in the Godhead.
No, but if he's God, listen. If he's God...
It's the plurality of oneness.
Chris, listen.
Jesus
was Jesus fully God? When he prayed, was he fully God?
Jesus, show us the Father. Jesus stood there in front of him and said, you've been with me all this time, and you're asking me to show you the Father.
Jesus also said, by myself,
I am the Father.
Jesus also said, I can by myself do nothing.
They understood
They understood that.
Listen,
Jesus said before Abraham was...
Okay, now this is all just red herrings now. All red herrings. When Jesus, listen.
The Word was with God.
Can you answer one question?
He was with God in the beginning.
Jesus also says, I by myself can do nothing.
And the word
what kind of a God says that?
Your man Muhammad, what's his name? He keeps talking about John chapter 17 verse 3. That there's only one true God.
Yes.
But
was Jesus lying then?
But if you
was Jesus lying then?
Read the whole passage. Read the whole passage. Read the whole passage.
Okay.
Because
what
Jesus
does
then goes on to say,
no, but you're going.
He doesn't just say it once. He says it twice.
Okay. He also says in the same passage, I and the disciples are one.
Father,
he also says, I and the disciples are one.
Same oneness.
John 17:21. He says, just like you and you.
Can you understand the Godhead? No, I can't understand.
Will you let Jesus speak from the Bible? Jesus said he and the disciples.
Jesus said, I and the Father are one.
Chris, are you listening?
Wait.
Wait a minute. Let me stop you there. When Jesus said, I and the disciples are one, what do you understand?
No,
because they're one in Jesus.
Let him answer. What do you understand when he says I and the disciples are one?
Jesus is in me.
I and the disciples are one. What do you understand? Oneness in what?
Oneness.
In what?
In the Spirit.
Thank you. So in the Spirit, the disciples also one with him. How many gods we got now? 14?
No, but we're not saying we're gods.
No.
Oh, so Jesus is not God. Thank you. Finally.